Hello, this is the third lecture on terms of commodity. The topic today is about the quantity of goods. Quantity refers to the units of measures and weights. Quantity clause is one of the necessary conditions for the conclusion of an import-export contract. Each physical unit, such as weight, number, length, area, volume, or capacity, is represented by a specific unit. This table shows the commonly used units and symbols in international trade. Since different countries have different systems on calculating units, the units of measurement vary from a country to another. Furthermore, the same unit of measurement may represent different quantities. For instance, pound is used to represent the weight. However, an American pound is different from a European pound. Similarly, a ton has a different real weight depending on whether it is a short ton or metric ton or a long ton. In the United States, ton usually means another non-metric unit known as the short ton, equivalent to 2,000 pounds, or less commonly, a long ton, 2,240 pounds, which is the same as the imperial ton formerly used in the UK. In the USA, this measure is still used in the freight industry and for navy ships. The terms long and short come from units used in the UK before conversion to the metric system and are largely obsolete outside the USA. The metric system, the British system, the US system, and the international system of units are generally used in international trade nowadays. Metric system is the number of different systems of measurement with length based on the meter, mass on the gram, and the volume on the liter. This system is used around the world. It was developed in France and first introduced there in 1795. British system, also called British Imperial System, is the traditional system of weights and measures used officially in Great Britain from 1824 until the adoption of the metric system beginning in 1965. Though Britain is officially on the metric system, imperial units are still widely used and now legally defined in metric terms. American system, known as the U.S. customary system, most of the units are derived from the British imperial system. Today, Americans still use the U.S. customary units, although many scientists and organizations endorse the ease of the internationally used metric system. International System of Units, universally abbreviated SI, commonly known as the metric system, is a modernized version of the metric system established by international agreement. It is the most widely used system of measurement. Long the dominant measurement system used in science, the SI is becoming the dominant measurement system used in international commerce. The implementation and the popularization of the SI symbolizes the increasing internationalization and the standardization of a measurement system. In today's world, the common usage of both historic and modern measurement systems can cause some confusion, especially when doing business. It can therefore be helpful to have a basic understanding of the main systems of measurement and know roughly how to convert between them. In international business, the quantities of many commodities are calculated by weight. The method to measure the weight of goods are usually gross weight, net weight, conditional weight, theoretical weight, and the legal weight. Let's first start with tail weight, as it will help us define the net and the gross weight. To put it simply, the tail weight refers to the container's weight and or the packaging the product is packed in. For instance, if you have a box of beans, the weight of the box is the tail weight. In the case where more boxes are packed in a bigger box, then the bigger box's weight also counts as tail weight. The net weight refers to the weight of the product itself. For instance, if shipping raw material, the raw material's weight will be the shipment's net weight. The container or packaging that the material is packed in does not count towards the net weight. Similarly, when considering a can of peas, the weight of the contents of the can counts as net weight. This would therefore include the peas as well as any liquid included in the can to persuade its contents. Gross weight, as the name suggests, is the total weight of all the items in your shipment. You could mathematically define it as gross weight equals net weight plus tail weight. Therefore, this is the total weight of your shipment. That is, gross weight is the sum of the tail weight and the net weight. For shipping purposes, usually all three weights concerning the shipment need to be known. So, if you are about to send a shipment, make sure you know all the exact weights to avoid any problems during the completion of the paperwork. Depending on the mode of transport, the definition of gross weight might vary slightly to the master of the vessel, pilot of the aircraft, or operator of the vehicle. To a pilot, the gross weight includes the tail weight, net weight of the product, and the weight of the aircraft, fuel, passengers, and crew. To a lorry operator, gross weight includes the net weight of the product, tail weight, and the weight of the transport vehicle. To a vessel's master, gross weight is simply the sum of net weight and the tail weight. Conditioned weight is the weight of a textile material when all the moisture from it has been removed by drying a special type of woven and then adding standard moisture regain, which is different for different textile materials. This kind of calculating method is suitable to those cargoes which are of high economic value and with unsteady moisture content, whose water contents are not stable, such as wool, raw silk, etc. Theoretical weight is used for the commodity that have regular specifications and the fixed regular size, such as old steel, aluminum, and other metals. But this may not be exact weight of material you receive, because theoretical weight is calculated by nominal dimensions and density, and does not account for manufacturing deviations. If more accurate weight required, the actual weight would be more appropriate. Legal weight is the weight of merchandise itself, plus that of its immediate wrapping material, but not of the outside shipping container. Such kinds of goods include cans, small paper boxes, small bottles, etc. The contractors are usually required to state clearly the quantity of the deal in a contract. Expressions like about, approximately should not be allowed. However, in practice, there is often a more or less clause in the contract. This is used because quite often the shipment is over-delivered or under-delivered, especially for the trading of bulk goods. What's more, influenced by natural conditions, packing patterns, loading and unloading methods, the quantity of goods delivered by the seller usually doesn't conform to the quantity definitely stipulated in the contract. In order to facilitate the processing of the contract, the seller and the buyer generally agree to use more or less clause. It means overload and underload are permitted, but should not surpass a certain percentage of the stipulated quantity. The following examples of more or less clause can be used in contract. That is to say, both the seller and the buyer agree to allow some more or less of the goods delivered, but not exceed the fixed quantity agreed upon. CISD requires that the quantity of goods delivered should be identical to that called for in the contract. Otherwise, the buyer is entitled to reject that portion of goods excessive in quantity and to claim against the seller if the quantity is found to be less than that called for in contracts. Therefore, the buyer and the seller should clearly state the quantity delivered in the sales contract. Otherwise, some unexpected disputes may arise from the performance of contract. That's all about the quantity of a commodity. See you soon.